All right, guys, welcome. We are back. Episode 2 of the Coyote Football Stats Show, where we talk about Anna's 55-28 victory over Gunter. This was a game packed with storylines. Storylines everywhere, of course. Big one was Gunter coming in with a 33-game winning streak. High flying. It was a lot of fun, and the Coyotes come out on top. I am Phil Morgan, and joined by none other than...
I'm Blake Grundy, and hey, listen, it was an exciting evening for sure. Our community showed up in a really, really good way. I don't think Gunter was ready for the amount of people that we were going to have pack that stadium and for what was going to happen. First off, tip of the hat to them for they were classy all night long. That is a classy program.
For sure.
They did some really cool things, and we'll talk about it here in the stat show. They did some looks on their defensive line to give our offensive line some stuff to be able to think about a little bit, which was cool to see. But from top to bottom, this was a really fun atmosphere. We had media out there and things like that. But before we get too far, we mentioned it last week. Right, we had week 1 stats. We had a little bit older roster, and so we had a young man by the name of Leon El Amin get credit for the work of Martin Brown.
Number 34, Martin Brown. We see you, man. We got you.
And so, hey, Martin, we apologize, but it's corrected. We've got it right now.
And the good thing he did, he reached out to me through Insta. He's like, "Hey, look, this is my number. And we had this interaction, and it was really cool. And look, if we've gotten something wrong, we're not above doing a correction. So that's what we're doing here.
There you go,
making a little correction. So
Martin Brown, you had a big game against Oakland. He's gonna get his name shouted out again outside of this segment. Right. You're gonna get a little love here in a little while.
But you get love right off the top of the show, Martin. I mean, come on.
But it was a huge week, right? We had Bally's was there.
Yep.
Texas high school football.
I think Dave Campbell's
was there.
Dave Campbell's was there. Channel 8. Listen, I talked to Joe Trahan.
Yep.
Had a chance. I walked up. I'm like, "Hey, did anybody say hi to you yet?" And he's like, "Well, I spoke to your – wait, hang on." He goes, "Well, I spoke to your principal," because he's got that real deep – he's got that great that great TV voice. He said, "I spoke to the principal," and I said, "Well, welcome to Anna." He goes, "Look," you guys have a phenomenal program." He goes, I really expect great things are going to come about this team over the next several years. And he goes, "And this turnout." He's like, "This is Friday Night Lights."
It is.
It's cool. It's just we had a really great interaction. He took a minute. He's like, "I try to get to a game every Friday night, and me and a camera guy." And he goes, "This was a good choice."
Yeah, I got to talk to him a little bit too. The referees were trying to tell me that I couldn't stand in certain areas of the field that I've been able to stand in for a year, and he looked at me and goes, "This is ridiculous." And one of the refs kept going, and eventually I looked at that official and I said, "You're doing too much.
Right?
Just stop."
Oh.
So that was my interaction with him, but really cool guy. It's always fun when there's a lot of media presence there outside of just the CFN.
Yeah.
And outside of Coyote Vision, it's always really fun. It brings the energy. It kind of amplifies what's going on there. And I'll tell you what, our kids showed up.
Yeah, they did. They were ready to play this game. I think that after the week before, it left a really sour taste in their mouth. They wanted to set some things straight. I think they wanted to prove to themselves, to their coaches, to the fans that they can learn and they can get better.
Yeah.
And boy, I really feel like they came up. There's still some stuff to learn, right? I think there's a lot of meat left on that bone, but overall, this was a really good performance. We got to see a lot of kids we don't normally get to see.
Yeah.
Because of the score kind of being so tilted towards the end, but it was a great night. And as Coach Parr said, we needed this because 2 weeks with a loss would have been really tough to deal with. So it was really cool to see this. So what do you think? Should we just jump in and get started?
Yeah, let's talk about the offense.
Let's do it. All right, well, I'm going to start with him.
Come on now.
I'm going to start with him. Number 8, Ziondre Williams. Look, I'm just gonna start with this. 5 stickers.
Yes, sir.
5 stickers are going to go on our helmet.
That gives him 13 on the season, by the way.
13 stickers all total on the season. Look, Zai went 19 for 29 in passing, which was a 65.5% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
That's
pretty good. Just shy of the threshold that's given to us.
Right.
Just shy.
We're right on the edge.
It's good, but you were like a half a percentage point away, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 66, 67% is
yeah,
kind
right,
of that mark cut
right,
off.
right in there. So you're looking for only missing like a third.
He needs one more pass.
Yeah, one more pass, and that would have been gold. 274 yards, though, in the air. Like, I mean, it was very efficient. 9.4 yards per reception per attempt, and 4 touchdowns.
Yep,
4 touchdowns, and he had a QBR rating to end the night with 142. Those are great numbers, just to start with, and that doesn't even include his rushing numbers.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like watching Zai, I felt like he had a pretty good command of everything going on. I felt like he was calm. I felt like he understood. He knew what they were doing. He knew what Gunter was doing, and just kind of had a field day.
Well, I mean, you talk about he had a command for everything that was going on, and I think that's reflected in, and we'll get to it here in a minute, but that's reflected in our receiver statistics. Our leading receiver had 5 catches. Mm-hmm. Right, and everybody else was in that 4, 3, 2 range, and so the ball was spread around. And so when you see the ball spread around like that, what that really tells you is, 1, we have a ton of weapons.
Yeah.
But number 2, that really tells you that the quarterback is seeing the field well, and he's making his reads, and he's not forcing the ball into double coverage or contested areas just because he's got a favorite target that he wants to get the ball to. But really, he's just spreading it around. And so that command was evident in the passing game, but you'd mentioned that that's not all. He also did some stuff on the ground.
So 8 times he ran the ball, which is one of the great things about Zai that's fun to watch, right? If things aren't looking right, if guys are covered, or if there's too much pressure, he's got the ability to scramble. And for 129 yards, he did just that. 8 carries, 129 yards, 16.1 was his average per carry.
Yeah.
16.1.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. And he found pay dirt. He got himself a touchdown.
Yeah,
so
did.
It was a huge 5 touchdowns on the day as a whole. Over 400 yards. 400. I think Dallas Morning News had him at 404. I think that's what we've got him at here as well. 400. We have him at 403. We'll go with Dallas Morning News. 404.
We'll give you the extra yards.
We'll go with that extra yard. Either way, man, Zai had an incredible game. It's why these receivers love to play with him. Mm-hmm. Right? Because they know at some point teams are going to have to keep him honest. And when they commit players to try to deal with him, it means they're going to be open.
Oh, 100%, right? And so he actually almost had another, big run where he almost busted open another run. He's coming down the sideline, and as he's cutting to the outside, he just slips on one foot a little bit.
Yeah.
And he keeps his balance, but it's one of those where it slowed him down enough to where he had to go out of bounds. But
the
I mean, just an incredible game from Zai. I think 3 or 4 of those were designed runs, and then the other 4 to 5 were just scrambles, getting out of the pocket, making something happen.
Yeah.
So he had a fantastic game. Zayu showed up as usual. By the way, he had a 5th sticker for that 56-yard completion that we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Because he was part of that explosive play, so he gets an explosive sticker too, right? That's a big deal. But, hey, let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about our running back, man.
Get it.
Let's talk about our running back. Listen, we're going to talk about our running back, not just here, but we're going to talk about him on special teams too. Right?
That's a lot.
That's a big deal. Edward Chumley, I put it out on Twitter last week. He's the type of running back that one person's not going to bring down. Mm-mm. 2 or 3 guys are going to have to be ready at the same time to take him down.
I counted at one point in the first half. I think I counted he broke 6, 7 tackles. I just stopped counting.
Yeah.
Right in the first half, one guy would hit him, it was so funny. I would hear their crowd, yeah, and then the next thing you know, he's going for another 4 or 5 yards.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he does his thing every single week, and it's just so consistent, and it's so gritty and hard nosed, and he's got the quickness, he's got the agility, the speed to make guys miss. But a lot of times, he's just like, I'm just going to put my shoulder in you and see if you're up to the task of tackling me. And most of the time they're not. And so he went 8 for 56 on the ground. That's 7 yards per carry. For a little quick math, we got it on our sheet, but for you guys at home, you don't have to do the math. So 8 for 56, and he had the touchdown, which is going to get him his sticker on the night.
You see that, Selly?
That's his thing. That's his thing. He did it against Oakland as well. That's his new celebration. I love it.
Oh my god.
I love it. I love that he's coming alive. Last year it was I score a touchdown, I go to the sideline. And this year it's I score a touchdown, I'm gonna make sure they see the MVP dancing. But hey, he also had 3 catches for 59 yards. And once again, he had another one of those runs where he was one more broken tackle away from getting a big play and another score and getting it in the pay dirt. Yeah. But Edward Chumley he just continues to do his thing. When you take the rushing stats or the receiving yards, neither of them looks overly impressive. They're both like solid numbers, but you put them together and you realize like he just did a little bit of everything, and he just sprinkles in what he needs to do, and he ends up with over 100 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, 115 yards, man.
So that's a good day.
It's a great day by all stretch. I mean, look, when we had 500 and something yards overall,
20% of it.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
come on now,
that's a pretty good day.
And you say that, and then Zai just had 80% of it,
right?
Or was involved in 80%.
He's involved in 80%.
He's got to rely on the receivers,
and we're gonna be talking about them here in just a little bit. I'm gonna start it off though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about number 2, Zay Gentry, on the offensive side of the ball. Right, we're used to talking him on the defense, and we are going to talk about him on the defense.
He did a couple of things.
But listen, man, he gets a catch, 12 yards, but it's in the end zone, man. Found pay dirt. Zay Gentry hits the end zone with a reception, and I love watching that. I love watching guys who are hungry. Coach Rod talks about this all the time on special teams. Right, he talks all the time about like guys that are hungry. They want. Why am I not in special teams, coach? Why am I not on this team? Why am I not getting to do this? And these guys are hungry to play ball. They want to go play football. And Zay is one of those dudes. And so on offense, he gets in. He became one of those many targets that Zai was able to find in the course of this game and put 6 up on the board for us.
Well, and by the way, remember his touchdown was that broken play where the D lineman thought he had Zai sacked. Yep. And Mr. Magic Man over there just kind of teleported out of his arms, jumped a couple yards towards the sideline, and then threw it up. And Ashton and Zay were both right there, and it was just a little bit high. I think Ashton kind of lunged for it just over his hands, right? I love the attempt that Ashton made to like, hey, I'm going to make a play for my quarterback here.
Yeah.
Right? But Zay is right there. 2-toe tap. That was good in the NFL.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
You see him put the hand up right before.
Yeah.
We've got video of that. I hope we get a chance to show that.
I put that play on Twitter.
Yeah.
If it's good enough, Josh will throw it on there.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But it was phenomenal. It was good in the NFL. It was a double toe tap.
Yeah.
It was good in the NFL. It wasn't a single like, hey, this is good in high school, college. No, Zay was saying,
hey,
this is good for the NFL.
And tip of the hat to you, my brother. You were right there on it. You were right there in that moment.
Hey, the referees tried to say get back and get away, and I said, no, sir, I'm getting this play. I said I'm not getting sacked, and I said I'm not going to miss this play. No, it was a really cool play to watch.
We're playing nice with the referees, I promise. We are playing nice.
Besides my one offhand comment.
Well,
wasn't too bad.
There was another guy involved in that play that was hungry for the ball too. Why don't you talk a little bit about
Ashton Ansley, man. Listen, he's going to get 3 stickers on the night.
3 stickers.
Ashton, you showed up big. You were our leader in receptions, leader in yards, leader in yards per catch. So you had a big night. Ashton went 5 for 101, 20.2 yards per catch, and a touchdown. And then he had that 56-yard catch that I think it was the opening play of the game, wasn't it?
It was either the opening play or the second play. I can't remember which one.
It was the opening play, because the opening play was to Ashton, second play was to Chum, third play was a touchdown to Ace.
Yep.
Not that we've watched things or interviewed lots of people about this, but Ashton took that opening play and like almost broke it out. So once again, another guy that one more guy he beats, and it's like a 70-yard touchdown.
Right.
But Ashton showed up in a big way this week. 5 for 101 and a touchdown is such a huge game. And what I love is his route tree, and the way he got the ball was not what you'd expect. With the size he is, you think, oh, we're just going to throw it outside the numbers, throw it up to him, let him kind of go and get it, and one-on-one against the corner. But he's running slants. Mm-hmm. He's getting catches in the flat and making things happen after the catch. He's showing his agility and his speed and his ability to make guys miss. And I love that that's on display, because a lot of times you see a big guy and you're like, oh, just throw it up to him, and that's kind of a one-trick pony. But Ashton is so much more than that, and he has worked so hard on his game this summer, and you can see some of that starting to round out for him.
I have a question.
I may have an answer.
So Coach Parr talks about, look, we want to strike. We want to strike hard. We want to strike fast. We want to score first, basically. Mm-hmm. We want to put the points on the board.
Sure.
We want to put people on notice. Our offense is legit. When are these teams going to learn that Zai and this offense are going to score? Right? They deferred. They won the toss and deferred.
Yeah.
So they chose to put our offense on the board right away. And in 3 plays, we go down, pow, 6 points, smack it on them.
I mean, that goes to the larger scheme of strategy and situational and things like that. But let me throw it back. Does it really matter if they learn or not? I feel like our offense is so high powered, and maybe Coach Parr is mad at me or Coach Rigg is mad at me for saying that doesn't really matter. But like these guys, one, doesn't really matter because these guys and these coaches work so hard to put this team in the right position.
Yeah.
That it's just explosive plays all over the field. And sure, take Ashton away. Take Ronald Bell had a quieter night. Take Ronald Bell away. But does it really matter? Because then we come to another guy.
Number 7. Number 7. Ace, I've been waiting for this, baby. I have been waiting for this. Ace Traylor. Look, you had 4 for 63. 4 receptions for 63 yards. You had 15.8 yards per catch, which is
really good.
Really good.
Really good. Can I get him on my fantasy team?
Right. I take him after my leading receiver went down last night. Come on, Ace. Sign up to be on my fantasy team, buddy. But 2 touchdowns on the night. He had 4 catches, 2 of them resulting in touchdowns.
Hang on. Not 2 touchdowns just on the night. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Right.
The man scored twice before Gunter scored once. The man scored twice before Gunter scored once.
But yeah, it's
I went
true.
there.
Yeah,
but that's not a knock on Gunter. That's how hard our guys came in this game. He was phenomenal, and his attitude is so good.
Yeah. We listen, and all this aside, this is our job. And we love this. We love talking you guys up. We love getting the opportunity to talk about this team and encourage them. But one thing that was consistent, Gunter fought.
Yeah, they did. They never quit.
I never looked on the field and felt, no matter how far they were down, and felt like those guys gave up, which is a credit to that team, to that coach. Mm-hmm. I grew in respect, by the way, for that program, a ton of respect. I've always had a little bit of respect for that coach. Just because, I mean, when you've been somewhere as long as he has, you've got to have some kind of character, right? Good character to be able to sustain a job like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Coach Feisel, I believe he's the one that came in and started to turn that Gunter program around.
10, 12 years?
Something like that. But he's kind of done and is doing what Coach Parr has started here in Anna. Yeah. And so I like you said, I have a ton of respect for that. My wife's from Gunter. Right, that's where she graduated high school from. My in-laws live there, so I have a ton of respect for that town. So none of this is shade at Gunter. No. But I'm going to celebrate our guys. I'm going to unashamedly celebrate what our guys did, especially a guy like Ace, who is of the highest quality and character.
Right, and I think that's why I started saying that, is to transition to the fact that Coach Parr has been doing some of that same stuff, laying these roots, laying this foundation, and really instilling into these guys that high levels of competition, that test, that kind of push is going to develop not just your playing ability, it's going to develop your character, and that's going to make you better in the long run in everything.
I agree.
Right? But it was really great. Ace, it's awesome to shout you out. It's really cool. Proud of you. 4 for 63, 2 touchdowns. You're going to walk away with 2 stickers, my man.
Well, hey, we've talked about the offense a lot.
Well, we got one more.
Do we? Yeah. Oh yeah, we do. Our special sticker.
Yeah, we got a special sticker to end this segment.
So this is kind of the combined for the offense, but also for the defense.
Yeah, it works together.
Right? We won the turnover battle.
Yes, we did.
Right? Anytime you come out on top, and we've talked about this, I feel like ad nauseum for years, but it's because it's just a hard truth of football.
Well, because we felt the sting of it.
Yes.
Last week. Yes. The week before, rather.
Yeah, when you win the turnover battle, your odds of winning the game go up enormously.
Yeah.
And so we didn't just win. I think it was 4-1 on the turnover battle, something like that.
4-0.
4-0.
I think it was 4. Dallas Morning News had it 5-0. Okay. I think we thought it was 4 turnovers.
We had a fumble at the end.
Yeah.
Our second string, we had a fumble at the end. It was 4-1.
You're right. So they were
4-1.
4-1.
Sorry,
But still, we won it.
We won, and anytime you win the turnover battle by 3,
+3, baby.
That's a big deal. And so we put it here at the end of offense before defense because they go together. Yeah. And I love that when our defense is getting after it, our offense is staying clean, and we win that battle.
It gives in a +3 scenario, you give your offense 3 more opportunities than the other opposing team,
and it allows the halftime score to be 48-15.
48-15. And I mean, going into halftime,
that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. And and just as we close out this segment,
okay, go ahead.
I think that there's a lot to be said about Coach Parr in this regard.
Sure.
Because at 48-15, he could have come out and they could have kept throwing like they were.
They could have said, we're going to get 90.
And I don't know that he intentionally did anything, but the game did slow down in the second half a little bit. At least I felt like it did from my perspective.
Yeah, and Coach Parr has talked about this before. He's not going to stop running his offense,
right?
But he's not going to go full pedal to the metal either. He's going to slow it down a little bit. So he's still going to run his plays. Even when his twos come in, he's going to run the offense. Yeah. But he's going to drain some of that clock a little bit.
Yep. Which is smart. That's good coaching.
It is. It's really good coaching. So, hey, listen, we didn't get to talk about these guys a whole lot last week. But they responded in a big way. So
come on.
Let's take a break to hear from a sponsor, and then let's talk about the defense.
Let's go.
All right, I'm going to start with him. Not Leon L. Amin, but Martin Brown.
Sorry, Leon, but it's all Martin today, buddy.
It's all Martin Brown. Hey, listen, you had a big game, Martin. Yeah. Like, really quickly before I'll say it. Martin had 11 tackles. 9 of them were solo, but it was really fun to watch. I feel like the whole first quarter was played down on the north end zone side of the field where I was shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was really funny to watch on the first drive, the first couple of drives. Most of the time when the play finished, there were 9 or 10 purple helmets on a pile with the ball carrier.
Right.
Like they weren't just like one person hitting and one person making a tackle. It was one person hitting and sticking, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I promise I can count to 10. I'm not going to do it. But like there was one play early in the game where we literally had 11 helmets finished by the ball. And I love that because what that told me is that Coach Sevier and Coach Parr got on them and they responded. And Martin Brown is one of those who responded with 11 tackles, 9 solo. So that's going to get you a sticker on the board as our leading tackle getter for the night.
Yeah, we see you. We see you. We see your
That's
number.
big.
We see your name. We see your stats.
That's big.
Great job. Well, I'm going to talk about another one, number 25.
Oh, we love him.
Quadzilla, baby. Cash Williams.
Money.
Let's never do that again. Let's never sing again on the pod. Never do that.
I promise I will not sing on the pod until the next time I sing on the pod.
Like, right. So Cash Williams, linebacker, you get 5 stickers. 5.
All right, count them out for me.
Okay, so 7 tackles.
That tied him for second on the team.
Second on the team, okay. Right? 5 of those, by the way, were solo.
Big.
2 tackles for loss.
That's 3.
That's 3. Gets him 3. But. Here we go. And I got, by the way, Cash, I know you already seen it, but I got the big play of the night for me from him was the scoop and the score.
Scoop and score.
Scoop and score, baby.
Scoop and score.
He was in the absolute perfect spot. That ball hits the turf, bounces once, and he is right there for it. Like no one is real. Like, there's one guy maybe a yard away, but once he got the ball, he ran for his life, and no one was catching him, man.
Hey, listen.
No one was catching him.
that is a big man that can squat a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And can move pretty darn fast.
Those quads pushed, baby. They got him moving.
He didn't just
really
scoop
fast.
and score. He scooped, separated, and scored. I had some people coming to the sideline, like some of the defensive players, like, "Yo, Cash can move.
Cash can move."
They didn't realize how fast he was. We saw some of that last year, but like, what a game for Cash.
And he's so the thing I like about this kid, he's so even keel.
Yeah.
You know, you catch him outside of a game, he's that way. You catch him in the game. And he's just like, there's a focus, you know, it's just a focus.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he's got that focus. Cash, super proud of you. We were calling you out last year. We're calling you out again this year. A lot of fun to watch. That play so far has been one of my favorite, but there's another one we'll talk about here in a minute.
Listen, Eric Bowen.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize.
Let's go,
I didn't realize, Eric, until I looked at the stats that you had as many tackles on the night as you did, and that was 7 tackles.
He was sneaky good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they tested him on purpose or what, but he was sneaky good, and they won't do that again.
They tried to test Zay for a while, and then they realized that Zay was not having any of it. No. Zay, we're getting to you. Yeah. I promise. Hold tight, brother.
But Eric Bowen.
And so they decided they needed to test Eric, and Zay said it best in his post-game interview when I asked him about the Eric Bowen interception and asked about Eric, and Eric's put in a lot of work. He was injured during spring ball, made a transition from wide receiver to corner because our team needed him to do that. And he did it selflessly, saying, okay, I'll do it. I'm going to get dirty. I'm willing to do it. He answered the call, and he answered the challenge from Coach Sevier. 7 tackles, And then that huge interception in the end zone. It was such a cool play, man. He ran with him. He read it. He looked back at the quarterback, and he just elevated and said, listen, I'm used to winning jump balls on the offensive end, so you're not going to win a jump ball against me. He elevates and gets the interception. So Eric Bowen got 2 stickers on the night.
Incredible night. Just really good, man. So overall, we had 66 team tackles.
Yes.
48 of those were solo, but I feel like none of them ended, like you said, without tons of helmets swarming there. Even though one guy brought him down, every time you looked, it seemed like all the purple helmets were moving the same direction.
And everybody was getting in the piles. Everybody was getting involved. Everybody was trying to hit hard. Everybody took it personally.
Well, and number 31 was among them.
Yeah.
Number 31, Austin Crowley,
Yes,
comes up with a big fumble recovery.
Yeah.
And that was a huge moment. I mean, anytime, like we talk about this. Anytime you're changing sides of the field and giving your offense another opportunity is huge. And so looking for those moments where you might be able to punch a ball out or get your helmet just in the right spot when you're making a tackle to jar that ball loose is another chance for Zai and that absolute just
juggernaut.
Safe full of weapons. They're just dangerous. Those guys are dangerous, man. And give them those opportunities, they will take it and they'll do what they did. They scored and scored. So Austin, you're a reason. You get a sticker for this. You're a reason why they get another opportunity to score because of the fumble recovery. So great job.
His fumble recovery was part of what led to that 24-0 onslaught to start the game. It was big. That was a big deal. So Austin Crawley, good job. Hey, we had a couple of guys that both got a half a sack.
Yeah.
And so I love that. We're going to give each of them a sticker. We're not going to make you split a sticker. You're going to get your own sticker. You had to split a sack. There's no reason to split a sticker.
No.
Right? And so Bryson Bardroff and Caden Banks, you both combined, you both got a half a sack. And so you guys are going to get a sticker. Great job on the night. Worked hard from the linebacking core, from the line. Like, just a great job of getting in there and doing what we needed to do to put the offense at a disadvantage.
I was so thankful to see that.
Yes.
That was a big play. They busted through that line. They really did a great job in that moment. But here we go. You ready? This is the surprise for me in a way.
Well, hang on. We need to move him to the special teams. You got to talk about Zay. Talk about Zay.
Yeah, I'll talk about which is
talk about him again.
Look, Zay. So Zay, we talk about in the offense. Zay Gentry. Number 2, 4 pass deflections. We caught 2 of them perfectly on film. But look, an absolutely dominant night.
Yes.
Start to finish. I mean, just a dominant night. You took the shots when they were there, and you performed at a very high level. One of them, the one that was on the sideline, it was probably like a 8-yard pass, and the guy thought he was completely open. He was dead to his heels, and you just reach right around and you just deny him. You shut it down. I mean, and we got a great shot of that.
You had the better shot of it. I had one of it too, but yours was better. It was so cool to see. I was like, oh, that's a completion. No, it's not.
Listen, the thing was, he wasn't alone. Like, Zay was right. He was covering him. That was just, there's just an ill-advised pass because, well, Zay Gentry was over in the area.
Hey, no fly zone strapped.
No fly zone. We talk about Zay. We got a nickname.
No fly zone.
That's right.
Or straps, either one.
We go either way. We'll let him decide. You tell us, Zay. I like the no fly zone. Don't throw the ball in this area because it will get shot down. We will take it down. But 4 stickers for 4 pass deflections.
That's big, man.
That's a huge night.
I don't know if you guys understand how many pass breakups, how many pass deflections that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That, like, you look at stats of college players, NFL players, and at the end of the season, if they have 12, 15 pass breakups, it's a pretty darn good year.
Yeah.
And Zay is a quarter of the way to that in one game.
Yeah.
That's a big time performance.
And one of those was really close to an interception.
Yeah.
I mean, it was close.
Yeah.
Like, I think that one going down the sideline, just almost on the goal line, on the western side of the field, the home side of the field, it was close.
You're gonna hate me. You're not really gonna hate me. I just remember as we're talking about Zay's pass breakups, Cash had a pass breakup too.
Yeah.
He had one that hit his hand that almost went as an interception.
I think it surprised him.
Yeah, it surprised him that it was thrown right to him. So, by the way, Cash, you got 6 stickers on the night now.
6 stickers, 4 for Zay.
Listen, live stat corrections. We're open to correcting ourselves here.
Sometimes we're talking it out loud.
Things, but we didn't forget Cash. Like Cash, nope. 6. So Zay got 1 on the offense, 4 on the defense. Yeah. By the way, not only was he breaking passes up, he had a couple of big hits too, where he leveled some dudes because he took it personally as well. He was one of those defensive leaders that said, I'm going to show up and I'm going to make this happen.
It was crazy. What a game. What a fun game. But we're not done.
No.
We're not finished.
No.
We got at least 2 or 3 more things to talk about, right? So let's take a look at our special teams.
Let's do it. Well, I got to talk about on the offensive side of the ball. So why don't you talk about this individual on special teams?
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, come on.
I love talking about Edward Chumley.
Yes, I know you do. That's why I don't want to take all of it from you.
You said in the offensive segment, the MVP, you want to make sure there was a little respect on his name, maybe that dance, maybe he's recognized.
Put some respect on the name.
People always want a little more respect when they get some initials to follow their names, right? Doctors, etc.
Yeah.
They want to be called doctor or whatever. Maybe we need to call him Dr. Chumley. I don't know, but because he's surgical.
Dr. Chumley.
The doctor is in the house, and we get to talk about him again right here. So
DEC, Dr. Edward Chumley.
Dr.
DEC. DEC is we're workshopping it, guys. Listen, it's game 2. It's coming.
Just
you
having
came
some fun.
Year.
You're gonna get 3 stickers, Chum, right here. 3, 2 caused fumbles, 1 recovery, 1 caused fumble.
1 caused fumble.
1 caused fumble. Okay, so 2 stickers. You get 1 caused fumble. You get 1 fumble recovery. And it's just typical of who you are. You're a hard-hitting dude. You don't shy from contact. And I think that's something this defense is starting to grab hold of. Whether it's special teams or defense, these guys are starting to move towards that contact. They're starting to get hungry for that kind of thing. And they know that when they make that contact, when they're willing to play football, when they're willing to get in there and play like that I mean, it's not trench warfare because we're not on the line, but when they're willing to get in and do the hard work, the dirty work, good things happen. And Chumley, you're an absolute representation of that. 2 stickers for the caused fumble and the recovery.
This is another one I've got video of, and hopefully it's good enough for Josh to throw in there. It was pretty cool to see. He's just running down there, and the Gunter player's got the ball in his left hand, and Chumley just reaches out and just strips it. Yeah. And he's like, that's my ball now. I'm going to fall on it, and I'm going to get it back, and we're going to go score, and we're going to do our thing, and they did their thing. So I love it when other people show up on special teams. But we also got to shout out Desmar. He's going to get 2 stickers on the night. Desmar, you get 2 stickers on the night. 1 sticker for being perfect on our PATs. 7 for 7. That's a big deal. We've had struggles and issues with of some of that in the past where missed extra points just deflate a team after a big drive. And you didn't do that. 7 for 7 on extra points and 2 for 2 on field goals. Yeah. So he walked away with 13 points in this game.
That's pretty incredible.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Desmar, you were clean. That was perfect. I loved it. Great job on that special teams work on the night.
And we talked about this last year. That's a job that just has to be perfect.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stress there. There's a lot that gets put on your shoulders as a kicker. But that's the high bar. Yeah, it demands perfection in that position. And Desmar, you really handled it. You handled that job well this week, and for it, you get your stickers, man. You get your stickers. So great job all around.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just a big day for our Coyotes. Like I said, our community showed up.
Yeah.
I think Coach Barr would still say he wants it a little bit louder on 3rd downs.
On 3rd downs, as soon as that 3rd down hits, man.
They get in that huddle, get loud, because they're trying to communicate right there.
Before the play, before they get up online even, go ahead and start getting loud early. Anything we're doing, and we are loud, it makes a difference. Everybody comments on it. Every single person. Joe Trahan said it. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, your fans are loud.
Yep. And listen, I don't care if you find the vuvuzelas annoying. Go get you a vuvuzela or go get you some wooden blocks, but find some way, or just yell. I don't care.
A handbell of some, like those cowbells.
Yep. Get loud.
Get the cowbell. I mean, who doesn't like more cowbell? I mean, come on. Everybody loves a little more cowbell, right?
It was you this time, not me. It was you making the corny reference this time, not me. I love it. I love it.
Well, I think that brings us to the end. So we got a little bit of business to take care of right before we go. We're off this week.
Yes. This is a week that I know that the Coyotes are going to get in the lab.
Yep.
Those coaches are going to get them in the film room, in the practice on the practice field, and they're going to work and work and work because in 2 weeks' time, on September 20th,
ooh, buddy,
Lovejoy's coming to town.
Lovejoy's coming to town. They're coming here.
They are,
and it's our district. It's a district home opener for us.
It's a big one.
It's a big game.
Lovejoy they lost their first 2 games of the season, but I fully expect that coaching staff that is there and the players that are there that have experienced some of the success they have to take they're gonna work to get some things.
They've
right.
played them close.
Yeah, and they've had tough games.
Yeah, and they weren't blowouts, and so this team's gonna come ready. But I got a lot of faith in our coaching staff. I got a lot of faith in Coach Parr and those that he surrounded himself with. I think our guys are going to be ready. This will be our taste of 5A football in Texas. Right. We joke every year. If you're new to this show, Coach Parr does not like bye weeks. No, it's not a bye week,
and it's not an off week.
It's not an off week. It's not a rest week. This is prep. This is prep time. So these guys are going to be prepping. They're going to be preparing for what's in front of them when Lovejoy comes to town because we got to be our very best.
If anything, they'll work harder in practice because they don't have a game on Friday night to preserve energy for. So they're gonna run. They're gonna go. That game is at 7:30 on September 20th. So be there
early.
5:30.
5:30 for the tailgate.
6:30
for that walk, baby. That walk.
7:30,
and that's the kickoff.
For the kickoff, and they'll probably defer to us, and we'll probably go.
We can only hope, right? That's how we want to start it, baby.
No, but it's that game on September 20th kicks us off in district play, and we're running through the season. Running every Friday through the season. So it's going to be big. Yeah. I fully expect come tailgate. If I say it, I feel like every week in every show, and you say it, and Coach Parr says it on the coaches show. If you've never come and tailgated, come and tailgate. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
It builds that community pride. It's not just about like the football team, but it really builds community pride. You get to know your neighbors and other people in the town.
I had somebody came up to me this last week, said at first I was really nervous about coming because I've never been to the tailgate. I don't have any kids playing the game. I just want to come out and hang out, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, how did it go? It said it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, what made it so great? She goes, everybody was so friendly. Everybody was willing to talk. And I asked, I said, well, how did you start those conversations? Because a lot of times, this is just a little bit of help getting into the community, right?
Sure.
I said, how did you start them? He said, well, I just started asking, do you have a kid that's playing? I'd go to a tailgate and I'd say, hey, do you guys have a kid that's playing? And he said, of course, if they had a kid playing, they wanted to talk about it. So they would tell me, and I met kids that, that parents who would tell us that their kid was, a second string or had, would play JV, but was excited because they got to come up on varsity.
They got to dress for the night.
Or their kid. And he said, then I met some of our starters, parents and friends. And so maybe that's a great way to kind of start talking with people. And if all else fails, I'll say this, come to the Pin Oaks tent. You don't have to talk about football. We got a little bit of food to hand out. You can talk about anything you want. The people are there ready to meet you, ready to help make you feel welcome. We'd love to do that. So
food, music, and inflatable football game.
I'm ready.
It's fun.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm glad for a prep week, but I'm ready to see district play get started.
Me too. Hey, let's go ahead and I think let's close this episode out.
Let's do it.
Coyotes on 3.
Coyotes on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Go Coyotes.